Okay, I understand wanting Jason to beat Freddy on a home field advantage, but inadvertently waking him up really wasn't smart. Anyway, Freddy is angered by this and attacks Laurie. This then reveals the fact that it was Freddy who killed her mother and not her father. In the real world, Jason hunts the others through Crystal Lake, and the cabin they were hiding is set on fire. Lindemann is Lindemann is mortally wounded in the process, and Laurie's hand is dragged through some flames, which causes her to wake up as she is resting with Krieger, who she drags out with her, because that is actually an effect of his power. If he is holding onto you as you wake up, he is dragged into the real world. It does not dampen his power, however. Jason seems to have an advantage with this, with his incredible strength, and Freddy's fear of fire. But Freddy keeps ahead of him with his speed and agility. Lindemann sends Kaya to help the others and dies, while Kaya taunts Freddy to keep him from attacking Laurie and Will, but she is blindsided by Jason and killed as a result. Unwilling to leave until she sees Freddy die, Laurie and Will watch the combat between the two horror titans. This is a ridiculous scene. They each try to one-up each other in the fight. They take one another mano a mano. Freddy uses the areas, and so does Jason. This I like to refer to as WWE horror movie, as that's what this entire scene plays out as. One giant wrestling match. Laurie ignites propane tanks, and explosions send the two onto the docks. Jason rips Freddy's arm off as Freddy gains control of Jason's machete and severely wounds him in return, throwing him into the lake. He turns to Laurie, intent on killing her, but is stabbed through the torso by his own bladed glove by Jason and drops the machete. Laurie decapitates Freddy with the machete, and Jason falls back into the lake, seemingly succumbing to his injuries and dying as well. This was actually a pretty well thought out scene, using their own weapons to kill them each. I mean, that has got to be some poetic justice right there, having Jason impaled on his own machete and Freddy killed by his own claws. And this just shows that his dream powers do not work in the real world, as he did not regrow his arm after this point. But as I said, Jason falls back into the lake, but not before he and Laurie stare at each other as she throws him his machete. Finally, at peace with the past, Laurie and Will leave Crystal Lake together. End of movie. Or so you may think. The next morning, Jason rises out of the lake and is holding Freddy's head along with the machete, also showing that Jason is back at Camp Crystal Lake. Freddy's head winks at the camera and laughs as the screen goes black. This was an obvious setup for a sequel. If the sequel was ever to be made, it was to include Ash from the Evil Dead series, the chainsaw-wielding zombie killer. All in all, it's a ridiculous movie, I can't deny that. But it is good. But it is a good movie in its own right. It has a few laughs here and there, and allows people to see what a battle between these two would be, ultimately showing off what the true power is. Freddy not being able to be hurt in the dream world, and Jason being able to really heal himself in the real world. All in all, a good run through the horror scene. Although not particularly scary at any point, it does showcase horror. Two giants of horror. I am the horror spirit, and I will leave you to your night.